Conic section, parabola, ellipse, and hyperbola. I would like to give you a table. Like to give a table. This table of conic section will help you to work any problem regarding conic. This is, let us say, a small one. Serial number, component. This is parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. So, serial number, component, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. The first component is E is equal to 1. This is less than 1. This is greater than 1. E is equal to, we'll do one thing, we'll first write the equation, then we'll go for it. We'll go for it. Equation first. First equation. Equation y square equals 4ax x square by a square plus y square by b square equals 1. A greater than b. X square by a square minus y square by b square equals 1. Then we'll go for E. This is 1. This is less than 1. And also remember E is 1 minus b square by a square. This is greater than 1. 1 plus b square by a square. Then vertex or vertices. Vertex or vertices. This is 0, comma 0. This is plus or minus a, comma 0 and 0 plus or minus b. This is just plus or minus a, comma 0. Only 2. Then focus or foci. A, comma 0, or you can say A, comma 0 only. That is A, comma 0, because E is equal to 1. This is plus or minus A, comma 0. This is also plus or minus A. Parabola has a focus. Ellipse and directrix has got foci. 2. That means there are 2 foci. First one, equation to directrix. X is equal to minus a or minus a by b. That is equal to minus a because e is 1. X is equal to plus or minus a by b. And here also x is equal to plus or minus a. Length of LR. This is 4a. This is 2b square by a. This is also 2b square by a. We have to add some more components. I'll just remove this and add that. Seventh one, distance between foci. Is not applicable for parabola. This is 2AE. This is 2A by E. So this also 2A. Next, distance between directrices. Not applicable. 2A by E. And this also 2A. If you can remember this table, in fact, your components are vertex, focus, then directrix, lattice rectum, distance between foci and distance between directrix apply only for ellipse and hyperbola. This table will help you a long way in solving almost all the problems. One more idea you need to know here is this. So supposing they give the second type of parabola, x square equal to 4x, or second type of ellipse plus y square by b square equals 1, a is less than b, or second type of hyperbola. Please add one more component to that. Length of axis. Length of axis not applicable for parabola. For hyperbola, major axis equals. I'm just asking you to add this into the tabular column. The first column parabola not applicable. Major axis 2a, minor axis 2b. Here, some naming is different. This is called transverse axis equals 2a. Conjugate axis equals. I'm just asking you to. We have written 9th one. This column pertains to parabola, ellipse, and hyperbola. Now, this is second type of. There's one more type is there. Y square equals minus 4h. Don't worry about it. Automatically minus sign get adjusted. So we shall call this the second type. This is second type of ellipse. That is second type of hyperbola. Here you should remember in first type a is greater than b. In second type a is less than b. Whereas hyperbola equation format is different. What you need to remember for second type? Interchange x and y coordinates for second type. Interchange a and b. This is applicable for all. What is the meaning of this? For parabola, interchange x and y coordinates. The focus was a comma 0. It will become 0 comma a. If it is focus. For ellipse, it was foci was plus or minus a comma 0. It becomes 0 comma plus or minus be. Why be? Interchange x and y coordinates. For example, here, if it is transverse axis, it will become 2b, and the conjugate axis becomes 2a. Or in case of ellipse, major axis is 2b, and the minor axis is 2a. Supposing you want length of LR, 2b square by a, normal type. If it is second type, it is 2a square by b. So you need not remember for a second type and for ellipse and hyperbola. Just remember only one type. Focus is plus or minus a comma 0 for ellipse and hyperbola same. Only change you find out is e. What was e? E is equal to root of 1 minus b square by a square. For hyperbola 1 plus b square by a square. If it is second type, it becomes 1 minus a square by b square. 1 plus a square by b square. So just remember only for first type. And remember for second type, you have to interchange x and y coordinates and interchange a and b. So if you can remember this, then working any problem in ellipse and hyperbola or parabola is going to be easy. So I repeat, focus a comma 0. For ellipse it is plus or minus a comma 0. For hyperbola it is also plus or minus a comma 0. Length of lattice rectum is 4a for parabola, 2b square by a for ellipse, and hyperbola same thing. Only change you notice is expression for e. For ellipse it is e is equal to root of 1 minus b square by a square. For hyperbola 1 plus b square by a square. Second type you need not remember. You can just remember for second type interchange x and y coordinates and interchange a and b. How will you know it is second type? Very clear. For ellipse, you notice a should be less than b, that is second type. For hyperbola, the format itself, or sometimes they may give like this also. X square by a square minus y square by b square equals minus 1. So if you can remember this, when working any problem in conic section is going to be easy. So let me start with some problems. Find the focus of the parabola. Find the focus of the parabola. Y square equals 16. So you should remember focus is a comma 0. Supposing they had given x square is equal to 25y, then it is interchanging a comma 0 becomes 0 comma a. So this is first type only. You are comparing with y square is equal to 4ax. So 4a is 16, a is 4, therefore it is 4 comma. It will not take much time when you can remember. Supposing they give the next problem. Find the focus of the ellipse x square by 25 plus y square by 16 equals 1. They are asking you to find the focus. It is plus or minus a comma 0. You first notice first type or second type. It is first type only. You have to find d. You can read very clear a is 5. B we are not interested, let us not waste time because we want only a. But we require b for the finding a. So what is b? B is 4. 1 minus b square by a square. 1 minus 16 by 25. That is 3 by 5. So what is a? Plus or minus a is plus or minus 3 comma 0. Hardly it will not take more than a minute. Provided you should remember focus is plus or minus a comma 0. And you should remember expression for same thing they ask you for hyperbola. Y square by 36 minus x square by 49 is equal to 1. The moment you see it is second type of hyperbola, therefore focus is foci is 0 plus or minus b. What is a? A is 6, b is 7. What is e? Root of 1 plus a square by b square, because second type. So 1 plus a square is 36, b square is 49. So this is root 85 by 7. So you can substitute in the solution. So you need to notice that this is second type of hyperbola. Therefore, the foci is not standard form is plus or minus a comma 0 becomes 0 plus or minus be. And finding e also, it is 1 plus not b square by a square, it is a square by b square. Let's go to the next problem. Find the length of the major axis. Find the length of the major axis. What's the problem given? X square by 16 plus y square by 9 equal to 1. You notice that A is greater than B. So major axis is length of major axis equals 2A, that is equal to 8. If they are given the problem x square by 9 plus y square by 16, here A will be less than B. So here the length of major axis will not be 2A, it is going to be 2B. What is that you should remember for second type? Interchange x and y coordinates and interchange A and B. You did not remember length of major axis to be for second type. You just remember 2A only, and you remember interchanging x and y and interchanging A and B. So it's totally based on the memory. Find the E. Find E of the ellipse. Nine x square plus 16y square is equal to 140. The first thing that you notice, the equation of ellipse is not given in the standard form. The equation standard form is x square by a square plus y square by b square should be 1. So the best method is you want 1 here. So divide by 144. 9x square by 144 plus 16y square by 144 is equal to 1. So this is x square by 16 plus y square by 9 equals 1. If you can write this directly, you are saving some time. So what is that you notice? It's a first type of ellipse. Therefore, what is E is equal to root of 1 minus b square by a square. 1 minus what is b square? 9. A square root 7 by 4 is that. I think you got my point. First of all, you should notice that the equation of ellipse is not given in the standard form. Therefore, first bring the equation to standard form. What is the method? Right hand side. Whatever number is given there, you divide left hand side and right hand side by that. You get the standard form. Once you get the standard form, see whether it is first type or second type. They have given one more problem. Find the length of LR. Find the length of LR. Of 4x square plus y square is equal to 400. 4x square plus y square is equal to 400. What is that you again notice? This is not in the standard form. We want 1 here, so divide by 400. X square by 100 plus y square by 400 equals 1. Notice that A is less than B. So length of LR is not 2b square by A, it is 2a square by B. Because standard form is 2b square by A. What's the instruction? Interchange A and B because second type. So length of LR is equal to 2 into A square is 100 by B is 20. So it's 5 times. Next, find the equation of hyperbola problem is totally different. Find the equation of hyperbola. Given that foci is plus or minus 4, 0 and E is equal to. So one more thing you need to remember, which I have not listed in the table. For ellipse, B square is equal to A square into 1 minus E square. Or for hyperbola, B square is equal to A square into E square minus 1. If it is first type. If it is second type, A square is equal to, in place of A and B, you have to interchange that. How do we get this equation? From the standard result, 1 minus B square by A square. Square this. B square is equal to 1 minus B square by A square. Take the LCM. Or you can write this as B square by A square is equal to 1 minus E square. Then you can translate. So you can get it from this, or you can remember this also. On additional result, if you can remember working on problems become very easy. What is given? Plus or minus AE is equal to plus or minus 4. So B is equal to A is equal to 4, E is equal to 2. Let us find out B square. B square is equal to A square is 16 into 1 minus 4. No, sorry, hyperbola. So B square is equal to 4 into 4 minus 1. So B square is equal to 12. So what is our answer? We have to find A. AE is equal to 4. E is equal to 2. 2A is equal to 4. A is equal to 2. So what is the answer? X square by 4 minus y square by 12 is equal to 1. I repeat. They have given the foci. Plus or minus A, 0. So A is equal to plus or minus 4. So A is equal to 4. E is also given. From that you can get A. How to get B? Use this formula. Or you can use other formula also. E is 1 minus square root of B square minus A square. So E is given. This is 2 is equal to root of, from this you can calculate. But if you can remember this, working happens to be easy. An addition result. B square is equal to A square into 1 minus E square. If it is for ellipse, hyperbola, B square is equal to A square into E square minus 1. That is for the standard form. Supposing it is second type, it is put A in place of B in place of what is the we have written? Interchange A and B. The next problem they are given. One more similar to that. The foci of an ellipse. The previous problem was hyperbola. Now foci of ellipse are plus or minus 2, 0. And E is equal to 1 by 3. Find the equation of ellipse. Find the equation. Almost similar problem. The only difference is it's a problem on ellipse. Equation of ellipse. What is foci? Plus or minus AE, 0. So AE is equal to 2. A is equal to E by 2 by E. That is 6. Because E is 1 by 3. You have to find B square. A square into 1 minus E square. And what is A square? 36. 1 minus 1 by 9. 36 into 8 by 9. This 32. So what is our answer? X square by 36 plus y square by 32. So once you know the result, it will not take more than a minute. Now only doubt some students will get it. How do we know it is first type or second type? Yeah, it is first type only. If it is second type, the first type will be 0 plus or minus something. The moment I give plus or minus a comma a, some number comma 0, it should be first type only. Second type will be 0 because you know the first type of second type is 0 plus or minus b. So therefore we can use the corresponding equation and get this. What is the next problem? The distance between directrices, the distance between directrices of an ellipse is of an ellipse is twice the distance between foci. Twice the distance between foci. Then E equals what is given? Distance between directrices is 2a by E is 2 times 2a. 2 times 2a. So 2 and 2 you can cancel. A also gets cancelled. So what do you get? 2e square is equal to 1. E is equal to 1 by 2. It's a very simple problem. Only knowledge that you need to know is distance between foci is 2ae. Distance direct is 2a by e. If you know the formula, it's a very simple problem. Let's move on to the next problem. Suppose you are able to understand that all these problems are depending on the memory. They're all memory based. Of course, calculations are very simple. The major axis of an ellipse, the major axis of an ellipse is 10 units. Is 10. And E equals root 21 by 5. Then the length of minor axis. Then the length of minor axis. You need to remember the formula b square is equal to a square into 1 minus b square. So they have given major axis is 2a is 10, therefore a is 5. So this is 25 into 1 minus 21 by 25. Okay. So what will happen? This is 25 into 4 by 25. So b square is 4. So length of minor axis equals 2b, that is 4. It is not b square, it is 2b. And b is 2, therefore 2b is 4. What are the problems given in the CET? We'll just work out those problems also. Only very few problems are there in CET. Not many problems in CET. The eccentricity of the ellipse, the problem given in CET, the eccentricity, that is E of the ellipse, E of the ellipse, 9x square plus 25y square is equal to 225. So, first of all, you should notice the equation is not in standard form. So, bring it to standard form by dividing by 225. X square by 25 plus y square by 9 is equal to 1. What is an expression for E? You should remember 1 minus b square by a square. 1 minus b square is 9, a square is 25, therefore it is 4 by 4. This one is the problem. The next problem, find the eccentricity of the ellipse. Find E, again one more problem of the ellipse. Find E of the ellipse. X square by 36 plus y square by 16 equals 1. Same formula, 1 minus b square by a square, 1 minus 16 by 36. This is 22 root 5 by 6. Another problem they have given in the examination is the eccentricity of hyperbola. Instead of ellipse, hyperbola. The problems given in the examinations are very, very simple, provided you remember the formula. Hyperbola 4x square minus 9y square is equal to 36. It is not in standard form, so bring it to standard form. X square by 9 minus y square by 4 is equal to 1. They want E, hyperbola problem 1 plus b square by a square, because it is first type. 1 plus 4 by 9, that is root 39. One more problem in the examination. The distance between foci, of the ellipse 7x square, no, hyperbola, minus 9y square is equal to 63. They want distance between foci. So divide by 63. X square by 9 minus y square by 7 equals 1. They want distance between foci is 2AE. 2AE. A is 3, we know. B is 7, we know. You have to find E. Root of 1 minus b square is 7 by 9. That is root 2 by 3. So what is foci? Plus or minus E, 0. That is equal to plus or minus root 2, because when multiply 3 will cancel. See, if E is equal to root 2, then the hyperbola is called A square hyperbola B rectangular hyperbola and some other answers are given. So you should remember when E is equal to root 2, it is called rectangular hyperbola. See, in case of ellipse, x square by a square plus y square by b square equals 1. B can never be equal to A or A can never be equal to B. They are always different. If A is greater than B, then it is called first type. If B is greater than A, then it is called second type. Whereas in case of hyperbola, A can be equal to B. If A is equal to B, such an hyperbola is called rectangle hyperbola. So they can ask a question like this: if E is equal to root 2, hyperbola is called. Or rectangle hyperbola, find the eccentricity of rectangle hyperbola and just pick root 2. It's a knowledge question. Find the coordinates of foci and length of lateral rectum. They have asked both. So one of them we shall do. Find the length of LR. Because in CT they can't ask both of them. Find the length of LR. Of the hyperbola x square by 9 minus y square by 16 equals 1. The purpose of giving this problem is, we remember A is greater than B and or A is less than B. Please note that is not applicable for hyperbola. In case of ellipse, the equation is x square plus y square, x square by a square minus y square b square is 1. A is greater than B is called first type. If A is less than B, then it is called second type. Whereas in case of hyperbola, the first type is x square by a square minus y square by b square 1. The second type is y square by b square minus x square by a square is equal to 1, or the other way is x square by a square minus y square by b square. In case of ellipse, A can never be equal to B, whereas in case of a hyperbola, A can be equal to B. Such an hyperbola, as I said, is called rectangle hyperbola. Now, this is given why some student remember, oh, is B is greater than A, so they write the formula wrong. What the formula for length of LR? You need to remember this 2B square by A. If it is second type, then it is 2A square by B. So this problem is given because some student might get confused. Please note it is not second type, first type only. So 2 into what is B square? B square is 16. What is A square? 9. So it is 32 by 9. So with this, I think I have completed almost all, because not much of problems have been asked in the CET regarding the conic section. So I just want to remind you once again what we have done. So just remember this. You need to remember vertex, foci, then E, then length of LR, or length of axis, length of LR, distance between foci, comma dialecticis. So the table that I have given you, if you can memorize that. One more problem, that's the only way you can remember it. If you can memorize the table, then you can work any problem in hyper. And comparatively, the problems of conic section are going to be very, very simple. Of course, conic section has got one more, that is circle. Since I had discussed circles last class, I have not taken up any problem. So today we are concluding our class. Tomorrow I will be taking up the chapter on limits. So I'll just list the important limits. There are 7 limits, standard limits. I'll just write 1 or 2 so that you can write the other things later. The first one is limit extends to A, x to the power of n minus a to the power of n by x minus a is equal to ne to the power of n for all rational values of n. Then limit theta tends 0 sin theta by theta equals 1 tan theta by. So there are 7 standards that I am not going to discuss. And there is one more property called L'Hopital rule. So I am just asking you to go through some. I think you can remember those also. X tends 0 e to the power of x minus 1 by x log a to base c. All these, totally there are 7 limits. I'm not going to list them tomorrow. I'm saving time for tomorrow's class. So you remember all the 7 standard limits and also remember L'Hopital rule. What is L'Hopital rule? Limit of x tends to a of f of x by g of x is equal to limit of x tends to a of f dash of x by g dash of x, that is equal to limit of x tends to a of f double dash of x by g double dash. So when you don't get a solution, when you get an indeterminate form, we are going to differentiate numerator and denominator. Please note, we are not using quotient rule. For example, if you have got limit x tends 0, x square minus 4x plus 7 by x square minus 3x plus something like this, we are differentiating this separately. They are not using quotient rule. So differentiate numerator and denominator separately. That means you are differentiating numerator and denominator, and again we put the value in case if we get again 0 by 0 or infinite. Rather we get indeterminate form, we go on differentiating till we get the answer. And there you are going to use your discretion whether to use L'Hopital rule or not. For all problems you can't use it. Where you can save time, you can use it. So tomorrow, straight away I'll go to CET problems. I will not be briefing because the briefing I have done when I was doing the question paper discussion for second Tuesday examination. There I have done all this briefing. Before I started differentiation, I have given you the formulas and all that. Okay. If you are not having that, you can go through that my video which has been recorded and it is there. You can search that and get it. Tomorrow I am not wasting any time on listing the limits or talking about L'Hopital's rules and all that. Directly I'll move on to working problems of limits and also differentiation, because in the CET examination they have not as much problems. If I find there is an area where I have to give you some explanation which might help you for other problems, I may do it. Otherwise, I'll be straight away moving on to problems of CET. So, thank you. We shall close our class today. Tomorrow, I'll be discussing about the problems of limit which have been asked in the CET examination. Thank you.